Hi, today I wanted to show you my indoor window greenhouse setup that I use to start my seeds off indoors early. When the weather outside is still frigid, right now it's just the beginning of March and there's about a foot of snow on the ground. I like to get a jump on the season by starting my seeds indoors and get them healthy and strong before planting out. The greenhouse system I use is basically a piece of plastic surrounding a shelving unit, and I use some supplemental light and heat. I wanted to make this video more in a slideshow format so that I can get into some details about why I've selected individual components, everything that I might be using them for or their purpose. I also wanted to show you what a setup like this looks like. I wanted to go through exactly how many plants you could probably grow in a small system. And I wanted to give you a general idea of what a system like this might cost. So if that is something that interests you, if you were thinking about starting your own plants indoor, please keep watching. The greenhouse frame I use is a 5-shelf gray polyresin unit. It's about 72 inches high with shelves that are 18 inches by 36 inches. They're spaced 14 inches apart, and each shelf can support about 150 pounds. I wanted this unit because it fits my window. The shelves are slotted for airflow, and when not in use, allow light to filter through to a shelf beneath. I placed the shelving unit in front of a bright, south-facing sunny window to get as much daylight as I possibly can. I use the 3 middle shelves for growing plants, and I use the top and bottom shelf for storage. The plastic I use is just a scrap piece of greenhouse plastic, but any light to medium duty transparent plastic works just as well. It's used to create a stable microclimate and traps in the warm air from both the sunlight and from using your seedling heat mats. The plastic is available at any home supply store, and you could even use a plastic dollar store drop cloth as long as it's transparent. I attached the plastic to the top shelf on the room side with tape and then drape it down the shelving unit on the window side. The plastic on the sides of the shelving unit wrap around and form doors that close and are held closed with the use of spring clamps or office clips. Any 8 by 10 foot sheet of plastic will be large enough to cover a shelving unit of this size. The lights that I use are 36-inch LED utility lights, which fit the width of my shelves. They use 30 watts of power each and provide about 3,000 lumens. The lights can be attached to the bottom of a shelf with screws, or they can be suspended on chains to be adjustable. The lights provide a warm or a soft white light and are in the 4,000 Kelvin color temperature range. If you were to use lights for growing plants specifically, you might want to consider lights that have a 6,500 Kelvin color temperature range that are considered true daylight bulbs. The heat mats are 10 inches by 20 inches, and they use less than 20 watts of power each. They provide consistent bottom heat of about 70 degrees, which is considered ideal for germination. These heat mats fit standard size module seedling trays, and up to 2 mats and 2 trays can fit on one shelf. You can use standard seed starting trays with modules that are about 72 cells and have a plastic dome. Or if you were going to sow into individual pots, I would recommend a hard plastic tray that can fit several small pots or even small seedling modules. After transplanting, when I no longer need the seedling module trays, I like to use oven drip trays. I place them on top of the seedling heat mats, and the heat from the heat mats distribute across the drip trays. Each tray can hold about 12 yogurt cups or 20 of the large drinking cups, giving you a total of 24 to 40 plants per shelf. Watering can be done several ways. One would be a pressurized pump sprayer. Another one is a small watering can. But the method that I prefer is to take a small water bottle and drill holes into the top cap. That allows me to do spot watering on individual plants with a lot of control. And finally, just to increase the efficiency of the greenhouse system, you can use some tin foil and you wrap it around some cardboard and you can make some light reflectors. Or the one thing I like to use and prefer to use is a mylar blanket. You can wrap it around the room side of the greenhouse in order to reflect both the sunlight and the artificial light back onto your plants. And at night, you can take the mylar blanket and put it in front between the greenhouse and your window, and that'll stop any transference of cold into the greenhouse, again, keeping your plants just a little bit warmer. I keep my cords plugged into an overload protected power bar, and I like my lights to be on an automatic timer, providing light earlier in the morning and later on in the evening, shutting off light at night and during the midday to mimic a day-night cycle and also to save a little bit of power. I also want to mention that the utility lights, heat mat, and the shelving unit can also be used for many other purposes when I don't need them for the greenhouse. The shelving unit goes into the pantry room where I store my produce and my preserves over the winter. Produce that came from my garden from plants started right in the greenhouse. I use the heat mats for providing bottom heat when I make beer or wine. And I also do a lot of craft work that requires good lighting, so a portable light system that can be placed where I need it comes in very handy. The total cost for this greenhouse unit comes out to $50 for the shelving unit. Seedling heat mats can be purchased on Amazon for $35 for a 2-pack, and I have 4 of them, so that's a total of $70. And the utility lights I bought for $20 each on sale for a total of $60, and that comes out to about $180. So this might seem like a large upfront investment, but you have to think of it this way. For me, I use most of these components throughout the year for many other purposes, and it's going to last me my entire gardening career. So that's everything I wanted to tell you about my indoor window greenhouse setup. I know it's not a professional system, but it works for me. I hope you found some information in this video that's useful to you, or maybe you know another gardener who will. And I hope you have a great gardening year. Thanks for watching.